obviously, like, there has to be one first track that comes out on the label.
Right.
And of all the demos that I had been sitting on currently at the time, that one felt just very special and unique for the label to start the label with. I would say it's probably Resist, which came out on Experts Only, but when it used to be called Off the Grid.
Right. Before he was about to get sued for the name and had to switch it. It's Powertools, and we got Mak Styler in the house. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I mean, you just played with Solomon in LA. Talk to us about that. That's got to be a really cool experience.
Yeah, man, it was amazing. Definitely exceeded expectations, and they were high, but super fun. Crowd was amazing.
Right.
The new venue framework just
shout out
launched.
Framework. Shout out Kobe and Mark.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sound was incredible. Lighting was great. Just like overall experience was such a sick one for sure.
Right. That's dope. Now you've had like an amazing this past 2 years, I mean, you've had 7 number ones on Beatport. You're playing Coachella next year. You're on a sold-out tour. You were named the number 1 producer of the year on a Track 101 list. I mean, that is amazing. But let's go back to the beginning. And your parents bought you a DJ controller.
Yeah.
Did that start everything off for you? Was
100%.
That was like, now did they buy it because like, oh, that's cute, let's buy him a controller, or did they buy it like, maybe it could be the next Tiesto?
No, I've always had a passion for music, and like they were supportive of me when I wanted to play guitar when I was younger. And then I think when I was like around 14, 15 years old, I told them, I was like, I want to start DJing, and they bought me this like tiny little like Newmark controller from Best Buy.
Nice.
I think it was like $150, $200, whatever.
Right.
You could actually like plug your phone into it. And I started learning on that just like in my bedroom, just figuring out how to actually mix tracks together.
But
fast forward.
What made you want to get a controller? What DJ did you see and you go, I want to do that?
I didn't see any DJs. I just, I'm from a pretty small town.
Right.
And I kind of just got into it through like listening to electronic music, but I never like actually like went to shows.
Right. Because you're from St. Louis Obispo? Is that where you're from?
Yeah. San Luis Obispo.
Right. Which is in Northern California, if you don't know where that's at.
Yeah.
Small city.
Small town. Yeah. I'm actually from a smaller town within San Luis Obispo called Templeton.
Oh.
It's like ag, small area. But I know somehow I got into electronic music. I had a few friends who were listening to it. We were like middle school.
And what artists were you listening to back then?
Jack Beats, Boys Noise.
Nice.
Early Porter Robinson stuff.
Kind of the blog era-ish.
Yeah. Like Crooker. I was super into Crookers, like very like blog kind of era house. I think it's kind of like starting to like make a comeback a little bit with some of the sounds.
100%. Absolutely. Yeah. So then you get signed to Dim Mak when you're like 18 years old.
Right.
From a small city. At that point, are you like, I've made it?
Oh, dude, I was so excited. I even got the Dim Mak tattoo. Like, I was so fired up because like this was coming from a small town. I was like, you know, this experience and this like opportunity was such a big one.
Right.
And you know, I owe it to Steve, you know, for like really helping put my name out there in the beginning and helping me out. So, you know, it was a crazy kind of introduction into everything and a cool way to kick things off, I think.
And did you move to LA at that point in time when you got signed? Like I'm doing
No.
Okay.
I was still in Slow.
Okay.
And then moved to Vegas actually. And I'm still in Vegas now.
Interesting. I did not know that.
But the plans moved to LA, you know, sooner than later.
Okay. So like so you're at Dim Mak for like 6 years, right? And you're producing, and I didn't even know this until like honestly 3 days ago. I didn't know you're producing like EDM-ish, like radio music. I don't know that Mak Styler, and I was like, wow, this is an incredible journey. But then like in 2018, I think you get out of your deal with Dim Mak around there. You start releasing some house influence music. What switched for you at that point in time?
I think just as an artist, you kind of go through like periods where you get sick of making what you've been making and I was definitely like the last couple years like trying to like switch my sound up a little bit.
Right.
And I was just used to making a certain style like record when I was with Dim Mak.
Right.
And I think when the deal ended, I was just mentally in a place that I was ready to kind of like start experimenting and just doing something a bit different. I was ready for a switch up. Right. So, yeah, I mean, it was a good time to kind of reevaluate and like figure out what I wanted to do.
And in house music, you're like, this is my direction.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
I really started getting into house music in like 2016, 2017. But I couldn't like just go from making the stuff I was making instantly like switch into making what I wanted to be making. Right. So it was like a gradual process, but I had like kind of this goal. You
could have, but you're like,
yeah, I feel like maybe I like constrained myself.
Yes, absolutely.
But, yeah.
And then when did like, when did you like let loose? What was the song where you're like, this is it. This is my calling. This is the music. This is the new direction for me. What was that song?
Actually, I would say it's probably Resist, which came out on Experts Only, but when it used to be called Off the Grid.
Right. Before he was about to get sued for the name and had to switch it. It actually worked out in his favor. Experts Only is a way better name.
It's great. It's great. And it like definitely it fits like the whole thing he's doing, which is cool.
So you drop that and that changes everything for you.
I mean, that really I think put me onto a bigger audience, and also like that song felt really special to me when I was making it.
Right.
It just felt unique, but it had a lot of energy for like a club setting. And I was, at that time I was really wanting to get more into club music.
Right.
So
what were you listening at that time to inspire you?
I'm trying to remember what I was listening to then. I honestly can't even remember.
That song kind of came out of nowhere, man. It's like, whoa, it's like a second listen. What the fuck is this?
Yeah. I mean, it was just a mix of different genres. Like I was really starting to get into like indie dance stuff then. Still listening to like some techno. I was just kind of all over the place genre wise. And I wanted to figure out a way to kind of marry everything together to do my own thing with it. So it's just a process. Everything's always like kind of a moving target.
Right. And that was, that song and having John Summit support you, opening up, to a new audience. I mean, that was very important for your journey.
For sure. Right. And his fans are so dedicated, man. Like as soon as you jump into that family, it's like, everyone's like, okay, who's this? Like they really want to know and kind of dive in there, which is really cool. He's got a good fan base.
And once you felt that energy with this direction, was it pressure or was it like relief? Like, oh, I can do it. Or
that moment was definitely like relief, because I was like, now like there's eyes on me for the music I'm releasing.
Right.
And prior to that, most of the music I released didn't have a lot of eyes on it. So I felt very free to just like put out whatever and like not really think too much about it. But that was definitely the start of, kind of a different mindset when creating.
When you had that, when that record dropped, did you already have another 3 or 4 or 5 on that sound? You're already like, this is it.
It's funny. I actually had a few other releases at the time, now that I'm thinking back on it, that were definitely kind of outside of that, because I was still just like making a bunch of stuff.
Right.
But I had like several that were definitely more in that kind of resist lane. Right. And once that really started to kind of pick up and gain traction, I was like, okay, this is working. This also feels like the best to be making. Like I was most excited about making this kind of music. Right. And then, at the time we were just like, all right, these are the songs that are like, we're going to like go, full force into. Everything else, like trash can. Right. So like it does, put it in the bin.
Yes, I've been there before. Now, part of this, your journey coming into to your new sound, I read you had a conversation with Mark Knight that really kind of helped you, like, commit to this. Talk to us about that conversation.
I think it was just it wasn't necessarily like an in-person conversation. It was just over a few emails, but it was just the time for me when I was pivoting from making more radio stuff into more club focused stuff.
Right.
Maybe a little bit more instrumental, less vocal. And just figuring out like, he was kind of, showing me like structurally, like kind of how to make stuff that works for clubs better.
Okay.
Because most of the time prior, all my structuring was just like figuring out how to make the shortest possible track, starting with something that was instantly like hooky for Spotify, whatever. So he kind of helped me, I think, get out of that mind space of, you gotta let it breathe.
Right.
And yeah.
Now, what artist are you inspired by that's outside of electronic music? Because when I hear your music, in the last 2 years, there's this funk to it, and I'm like he's listening to Prince. I'm off, but who is there an artist outside of the electronic music you're like, yeah, I listen to that and I get some inspiration from?
I feel like the casual listening stuff is like Fleetwood Mac.
Okay.
ELO.
Okay.
Like older stuff like that. Like Bee Gees. Like I love like old like kind of disco stuff like that as well.
I could see the string line between the Bee Gees drums and some of your drums.
I love live drums. I think that like that was kind of the thing for me that I really wanted to hone in on, because at the time when I started doing stuff like that, I feel like it wasn't super popular.
Right.
And I do think that a lot of newer stuff coming out now is kind of like taking the live drum aspect and make that like kind of a thing. But it was exciting to me at the time. But yeah, we'll see where we go next.
Speaking of going next, I mean, and I've only asked this question to Chris Lake, and like you created a sound that we can say was emulated by a lot of people. I mean, like when you hear other artists emulating something that you've created, are you like, wow, it's flattery, this is dope? Or is it more like, man, let my idea breathe for a second?
It's a good question. And like, I think it's one that you kind of battle back and forth on when you're in this position. And like, I'm definitely like, very grateful to be, in this position.
Right.
It's definitely flattery for sure. 'Cause just the fact that like my sound works like this and people love it so much to want to, do stuff like it.
Right.
I think that's really cool. But for me, like now that this has happened, I feel like there's more pressure on me now to like figure out like, okay, now what do I do next? Like what's the next thing that, feels fresh and also exciting to me, to make in the studio. And
that brings us to your single that you dropped on your new label.
Yeah.
Right. And that to me is a slightly different direction.
For sure.
Right. And is that why you decided, what's the name of the song again?
You and Me.
You and Me. That's what it is. And the label is New Moda. And is that why you decided to drop that song on your new label, to kind of show, all right, we're going to push some things. We're going to do some things a little differently?
That actually wasn't the reason. I had been sitting on that song for like a year or so. And I just really loved it. And I felt that, over the course of the year, testing it out kind of all over the world, like that one just felt special in every place I played it. And I knew we wanted to like put something out. Well, obviously, like there has to be one first track that comes out on the label.
Right.
And of all the demos that I had been sitting on currently at the time, that one felt just very special and like unique for the label to start the label with. So we went with You and Me, and we've got some other fun, exciting stuff coming for the label soon as well.
Let's talk a little bit about the label, because that's a big move. That's a big undertaking.
For sure.
And I understand people want to do the label to, I've had a label twice, have your friends expose you know, other music and have an outlet for yourself, right?
Yeah.
But do you like listening to all the promos?
Of course, man. I honestly, and I've said this before, and like, I think I just said this when I was talking to Will Clark, but one of my favorite things to do is listen to music because I'm always hunting for new stuff to play in my sets. And for me, like when I'm playing sets, like it's more exciting to me when I'm playing new stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's more, you know, I have a better time. I'm not just like rinse, repeat the same thing over and over again. So I'm always hunting. And also like that just inspires me too. Like when I'm back in the studio, like, you know, if you spend 6 hours on Beatport a day, not a day, once a week or whatever, and you just like figure out like, you know, a few cool things here and there, like, that really gets like inspiration going for studio, for, you know, having new stuff to play live. Like, and now with promos coming in, I'll actually have a place to like champion this music and, you know, have a label to put it on, which is really cool. So
now, are you giving advice to other producers? Let it breathe, man. Let it breathe.
I don't think I'm in a place for advice yet, but I got a few.
You're definitely in a place for advice. To be able to give
true.
to other producers, for sure. I mean, that's one of the excitement that I think young producers want to come. Want like
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I mean, I definitely letting it breathe is one thing, and then also another thing for me. Just I think from my personal experience, like patience is such a huge, and that's obviously not a production tip, but you know, there's going to be so many ups and downs with this, and it's hard to stick through it. But I think if the passion's there and the love is there for the music, if you just keep with it, good things are going to start to happen. And the more you kind of figure out, you know, your sound over the years. Only good things can happen.
Yeah, I mean, you've been very patient. I mean, your journey. A lot of people. I mean, honestly, I thought you've been around for 4 years.
Yeah,
5 years. That's what I like. Oh, he's been around, and I was like, oh, okay. So he's paid his dues. He's put in the 10,000 hours into the studio, and that's how you're able to get to where you are today. Because I don't think you'll have that sound today if you didn't do all these other records.
100%. And like all those hours put in just made me ready for this kind of level of pace that I'm at now, where like I'm traveling every weekend. I have like 2 days at home to like actually like spend time making music, listening to music, whatever. So, you know, you have to kind of capitalize on time now. And it's not the easiest thing when you're traveling every weekend. Monday is basically, you know, a recovery day from the weekend. And then Thursday you're packing up, Friday you're out. So you really only have a couple little days to just like really capitalize. But yeah, no, it's good.
So when you're remixing Calvin Harris's Blessings, is that a little nerve-wracking?
Of
Calvin
course.
Harris?
Of course, man.
Or is it more like, he's calling me because he wants the sound?
No, man, that was such a cool opportunity. And like he has been maybe my favorite producer for years. There's still no one on his level when it comes to producers. And, you know, when I sent him the remix back and he was like, this is incredible, you're such a good producer, I was like, holy like what the, you know, this is insane. And then, you know, I got a chance to meet him in Ibiza and play the track opening for him at Ushuaia, which was pretty fun.
That would be nice.
Yeah, no, it was great. He's such a nice dude. Like, super grateful for that opportunity. You know, it was a really cool experience. So
Calvin didn't give you any notes.
No notes.
No notes.
It was V1.
You gotta love when that happens.
Oh, it's the best. Yeah. It's the best.
That's amazing. V1, we're rolling. That's really cool. So, how are you interacting when it comes to AI when you're creating music? I mean, this is a big subject right now.
Yeah.
Very touchy.
Yeah. So I think that if you use it as a tool in a sense of, like, let's say I write the lyrics to some sort of like rap or whatever, and I rap it or I sing it or whatever, and then I don't like my voice and I want to like use some other voice.
Right.
I think that's, to me, you're still the one being creative.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you aren't the one being creative and you're just prompting it to say something, or you sample something and have AI kind of like recreate the sample.
Right.
I think that's where it gets iffy. Like
Right.
you need to be the one being creative.
Right. So it's a tool. I agree 100%. And the way you're talking about is it's almost like you're just bringing in another session singer to cut the vocal, but you're using
exactly.
AI to get the vocal for you.
I think that's definitely a way that for me makes sense, because obviously there's no way to avoid AI coming in.
Right.
Like it's here. Like we're not gonna like, be able to completely avoid it.
Right.
But there's just ways to use it where, as an artist, you can still have integrity and be like the one kind of like in the hot seat.
Right.
You're not like passenger to AI.
And is that how you got the vocal for I Know You Want To? No.
I Know You Want To was actually me and my wife.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Who's here right now?
Hey. She's like, okay.
Literally. So I'm making the track full like instrumental, and I was like, this thing like needs a vocal.
Right.
And she comes upstairs and she's like, literally within like a second, she's like, I have an idea. Turn the mic on, have her do the I Know You Want To bit, and then she's like, just say fuck. I was like, this is perfect. Like, this is like literally so simple, but like so perfect.
Right.
And it literally was made in like 5 minutes.
It's like you guys are Fleetwood Mac now. That's great. You know what? Some of the best ideas are the ideas that come the quickest.
It was so quick.
Yes.
It was so quick. Yeah. And you're right. I mean, really, it's so true.
And when did you know that record was special? Like when you were like, that record was slightly different. Was it other DJs playing it, or did you play it out the first time and you're like, oh, wow?
I played it out the first time at, do you know Concourse Project in Austin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible venue. One of my favorites. Mm-hmm. And I always want like a couple new things to play there before I go in and play. And I knew that was going to be recorded. So I made a point to like make a few new things for that.
Right.
And when I played I Know You Want To there for the first time, like the crowd reacted like they knew the song. And that's when you know that like when you play a song for the first time and they already act like they know the song, you're like, okay, this is like, all right, this feels really good. And then from there, like, I continued to play it for a couple months. And it just reassured that like it felt big. Right. And yeah, I mean, it's been a big record for me this year. So
it's huge record for you. Man, I mean, you're doing a lot of stuff. I mean, you got Coachella next year. How excited are you about that?
Oh, it's a huge one. I've been, obviously like any artist is like Coachella is like one of the top things you can get. And, I cannot wait for that. And I'm going to try to bring as much as I possibly can to that fresh new stuff.
You're working on music right now for it?
I'm always working on. I've always like, as much as I can, I am in the studio. So I'm always trying to create new stuff, keep things fresh, keep things updated.
Mm-hmm. And now that you're touring heavily, do you prefer studio or do you prefer touring? If you had to pick one or the other.
It's so hard to pick one or the other. They both have their cool aspects. Like, you get the reassurance when you play something live and you get like the energy of like people in the room. Right. But also like being in the studio, making something, and like, if you do something kind of fresh and exciting in the moment, it's just like just you in the room. Right. It's like such a fun moment too. It's also nice being home.
Sleeping in your own bed. Yeah. I mean, you said something very interesting, because when you did Resist and you started creating this new sound, you weren't really gigging that much. It wasn't based on,
No.
I just played this underground. It was just more based on, I love all this type of music.
Yeah. I was just doing a lot of listening to other stuff at that point. And
talk to us about listening to a lot of other stuff for producers. Yeah. When you say that.
I mean, for me, it's just going through Bandcamp, Beatport, Spotify, going through other artist playlists, like going to Beatport charts, seeing what other artists are listening to at the time.
Right.
And just digging like for hours at a time. I really think that and this is just for me personally, but I really think that has helped me a lot.
Right.
Just kind of narrow down what I want to do and find inspiration that way. So
you narrowing it down like, man, I really love these drums, but I really love what they're doing with this technique.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. And, it's kind of figuring out pockets of like, are people using like these drums with these types of synths, or is like, are like all these tech house songs are like kind of sounding the same. So like maybe let's try something over here, what's going on over here, and inject that into what's going on over here. And just also figuring out like what you actually like,
right?
Not trying to just do something because, you think like it's what people want to hear.
Right. But right now you're at the point where I feel you're not doing as much digging because everybody's digging on your music. So you got to figure out, what's next, what actually inspires you. Like, what are you listening to now?
Yeah, good question. Do you know Luke Alessi?
Yeah.
I like him a lot. Mm-hmm. Do you know Tiesto Mago?
No.
He's a really cool Mexican producer. Right. Who else am I listening to right now?
And this is a little more on melodic kind of techno, or is this more?
No, I would say just like kind of groovier indie stuff still.
Right.
I mean, obviously I love everything that Adam 10 and Moda are doing.
Right. So you're still a fan listening as a fan.
Oh, always. Yeah, for sure.
That's great. That's really, really cool. So what does Mac Styler have cooking for 2026? You got Coachella. You got the new label. You got an EP. Is there an album?
No album yet.
No album.
No, honestly, I probably should. But
right.
I just think that it's so hard to release an album right now. Like, it's tough to get people to want to listen through like 10 tracks.
Right.
Or something around there, Right. But I like the 2-track, 3-track kind of things. It kind of like, gives a little bit of a deeper dive without giving out, too much.
Right.
But as far as what's coming up, I've got on the label, I've got my first VA coming up. So compilation of 5 tracks that I'm like really loving right now from other artists.
Nice.
I've got
when does that drop?
That drops in January.
Okay. Sick.
Yeah. So that's coming up on the label, and I've got my Grease 2000 edit coming up in also in January.
Grease like in Grease Lightning?
No. Grease 2000, like the remember 3 drives, old school record.
Oh,
super melodic,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I made a edit of that several months ago, and I've been playing it in like most of my festival sets, and it's been going like absolutely bonkers. So teamed up with Armada, we're gonna put that out in January, and then I've got a few more singles lined up for the first few months of next year as well. Are all the singles going on your label, or you're spreading the love amongst everybody? Right now, because I'm just starting the label, I'm gonna really be focusing a lot of attention on New Moda.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's exciting, man.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It feels like the right time now to, have my own label and, be able to release music, like you said earlier, like on the timeline that like makes sense for me. Right. It's important to capitalize on that. Because that's always, every artist wants their stuff out yesterday. I know. Everybody wants that. But sometimes it's a little, you might get stuck. And I've had this happen where it's like, all right, we love this record. We're going to sign it. It's going to come out in 6 months. You're like, 6 months? I know. I like this in 6 months. I know, exactly that. And also, like, it might be really, like, exciting now. And then 6 months pass and, you've made 3 other tracks that you like more. Right. And, the song might be losing a little bit of, like, relevancy a little bit. So it's really tough to, like, marry your schedule with label schedules, but it's something that you have to do until, you know, you're ready to kind of have your own label.
And who was part of the new Moda team? Who's part of the label team?
Metatone Management. So it's me and them doing the label together.
Nice.
And they obviously they run Experts Only, Ranger Truco's label, and Leighton Giordani's label as well. So
nice.
It's a good team.
And I could see, great team, and I could see how, you know, one of your big breaks was being on Experts Only, and I could see how you'd want to do that for another artist.
100%.
You know,
yeah.
Have Max Styler get behind it. Have their fans go to Max Styler.
What's that? Sorry. Wait,
no, have their have, you know, a new artist. All of a sudden, you're championing it. Right. Get some of your fans. You know, kind of like John Summit. What happened to you?
Right.
Same process.
Right. Exactly
and
the same.
And I like that. Like, it's paying it forward.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And I think that's really dope. Well, it's awesome having you on the show, man. I mean, the music you're producing, the sounds. We're very excited about the label.
Thank you. Thank you.
And, you know, we'll have you back next year after Coachella, and we'll talk about how that went.
That sounds great.
All right?
Yeah. Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
Powertools.